because I turned around and I was like, oh, the family's here. So man, I could
The
just feel the
WWE
love.
Universe has long admired the Bloodline as a dominant and cohesive faction, led by the indomitable Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief. Known for combining unmatched physical dominance with a strategic mind, Reigns has maintained control over Raw's landscape while guiding his cousins, Jimmy and Jey Uso, in their wrestling careers. For years, the Usos have been celebrated as one of WWE's most synergistic tag teams, blending high-flying maneuvers with impeccable teamwork and an intuitive understanding of each other's moves in the ring. However, recent events have revealed that loyalty within the bloodline is a complex, sometimes fragile construct. Roman Reigns, ever the manipulator and master strategist, has orchestrated a series of calculated moves to test, shape, and ultimately steer the Usos toward a full-fledged heel turn, setting the stage for a dramatic transformation in WWE storytelling. The bloodline on the brink. Roman Reigns plants seeds of betrayal. Within the Usos, the seeds of betrayal were planted over multiple weeks of subtle narrative cues, backstage interactions, and on-screen tensions. Reigns' guidance, sometimes bordering on intimidation, created an environment where the Usos were compelled to reevaluate their roles within the faction. The tribal chief's influence is unique. It combines mentorship, authority, and psychological control, ensuring that even minor deviations from loyalty or performance carry significant consequences. As fans watched these backstage developments unfold, the tension became palpable, signaling that a major narrative shift was imminent. Roman Reigns' calculated strategy. Roman Reigns has always been a master of long-term planning in WWE. Every decision he makes, whether in the ring, in promos, or behind the scenes, is carefully calculated to reinforce his dominance. In setting up the Usos for a heel turn, Reigns employed a layered strategy that involved manipulation, testing boundaries, and exploiting personal ambitions. He began by placing subtle pressure on Jey and Jimmy, questioning their commitment to the bloodline while simultaneously highlighting their strengths and weaknesses. Reigns' approach was never overtly aggressive at first. Instead, it relied on psychological nudges and controlled situations designed to provoke thought, create tension, and induce self-doubt. By fostering an environment where loyalty and ambition were constantly tested, Reigns ensured that the Usos would eventually arrive at a point where embracing the darker, heel persona became a logical, almost inevitable decision. Reigns' influence extended beyond simple guidance. He orchestrated scenarios where the Usos' choices would carry visible consequences, forcing them to confront the realities of Raw's competitive landscape. Every match, backstage interaction, and alliance was carefully curated to reinforce the idea that to survive and thrive, they would need to embrace aggression, strategic ruthlessness, and a more villainous approach. The build-up, tension on Raw. The weeks leading up to the heel turn were filled with moments of suspense and subtle foreshadowing. On screen, the Usos occasionally exhibited hesitation, conflicting emotions, and minor missteps, all while navigating the factional hierarchy established by Reigns. WWE's cameras captured every glance, whisper, and fleeting expression backstage, creating a layered narrative that invited viewers to speculate on internal tensions. Matches were staged to test loyalty, often forcing the Usos into situations where following Reigns' instructions or asserting independent decisions could have immediate consequences. These sequences were crafted to heighten suspense, maintain audience engagement, and set the stage for the dramatic reveal that their transformation into heels was imminent. Fans began to notice subtle signs, strategic hesitations, disagreements over match tactics, and moments of unspoken tension between the cousins and their tribal chief, all signaling that a turning point was near. The moment of betrayal. The heel turn itself was executed with precision, marking a definitive narrative climax. In a highly anticipated Raw segment, Roman Reigns delivered a forceful message to both Jey and Jimmy Uso, emphasizing loyalty, dominance, and the ruthless approach required to maintain control over the WWE landscape. The Usos, faced with the choice between compliance and independent morality, ultimately aligned themselves with the tribal chief, embracing a darker, more aggressive persona that solidified their heel status. The transformation was more than a simple shift in character. It represented the culmination of psychological conditioning, strategic planning, and narrative buildup. WWE cameras captured the intensity of the moment, Jay's stoic acceptance, Jimmy's subtle nods, and Reigns' approving yet commanding presence. Every gesture, expression, and interaction reinforced the idea that the bloodline was evolving and that the Usos' loyalty had been both tested and redefined. Psychological and emotional implications. The heel turn carries profound psychological and emotional implications for the characters involved. For the Usos, the decision to embrace villainy required reconciling familial loyalty, personal ambition, and the desire to excel in WWE's competitive hierarchy. Their transformation highlights the complex dynamics of mentorship, authority, and influence, illustrating how even the most cohesive factions are susceptible to internal tension and narrative evolution. For Roman Reigns, orchestrating the heel turn was both a demonstration of power and a strategic move to maintain dominance. By guiding the Usos into embracing a more aggressive persona, he ensures that the bloodline remains unassailable, with each member acting as an extension of his authority. This consolidation of control allows Reigns to maintain top-tier influence on Raw, while also introducing new layers of suspense, drama, and unpredictability in WWE storylines. Implications for the bloodline and WWE. The heel turn reshapes the bloodline's dynamics, positioning the faction as an even more formidable force on Raw. The Usos' embrace of villainy strengthens the faction's capacity for strategic in-ring and backstage manipulation, increasing their threat to rivals and elevating the stakes for championship pursuits. Every future confrontation, match, and promo now carries additional tension, as audiences are aware of the faction's new, more aggressive approach. This narrative shift also allows WWE to explore themes of loyalty, ambition, and betrayal, providing rich storytelling opportunities. Rival factions and top-tier superstars will now need to navigate a landscape where the bloodline operates with heightened cohesion, ruthless strategy, and reinforced authority, creating a fertile ground for intense rivalries, dramatic pay-per-view showdowns, and high-stakes championship contests. Fan reactions and social media buzz. The WWE Universe immediately reacted to the heel turn with shock, excitement, and speculation. Clips of the backstage interactions and Raw segments were widely circulated online, sparking discussions about future storylines, potential internal conflicts, and upcoming matches. Fans analyzed every subtle gesture, body language cue, and promo line to understand the Usos' motivations and the broader implications for the bloodline. Commentators and analysts praised the storyline for its psychological depth, character development, and long-term narrative planning. Unlike a standard in-ring match, this storyline demonstrates WWE's ability to blend personal conflict, factional tension, and strategic manipulation into compelling story-driven entertainment.